What's going on, guys? It's Jaron from WearTesters.com here with a performance review of the ClutchFit Drive II. Under Armour switched up the materials, added support, and replaced Micro G with charged foam, but is that enough to take the ClutchFit Drive II above the high bar its predecessor set? Let's find out, first starting off with the traction. When in doubt, use multi-directional herringbone. Seriously, there is no reason for sneaker companies to mess up traction, because we already know what works. The traction on the ClutchFit Drive II isn't nothing fancy. There's no storytelling patterns, no anatomical patterns, just straight performance. The multi-directional setup allows you to be covered anywhere you plan or don't plan on going. Also, the traction pattern wraps up onto the medial forefoot midsole for even more coverage on hard cuts and quick cutbacks. This feature saved my ankles multiple times, especially when I was getting crossed over. Overall, Under Armour played it really safe with the traction on the ClutchFit Drive II, which is a good thing. It just performs. It's consistent and reliable, as well as durable enough for me to recommend for outdoor use. Next up, let's talk about the cushion setup. Last year, the ClutchFit Drive I featured full-length Micro G, and this year we're getting charged foam to its successor. Charged foam is a little bit more firm than Micro G and sacrifices plushness for responsiveness. If you're familiar with models such as the Curry 1, you already know what to expect from the cushion setup in the ClutchFit Drive II. It's virtually the same thing. Like I said earlier, charged foam is very responsive, which is perfect for quick guards who want to get where they want to go faster. The problem is I don't think that charged foam really fits with the overall theme of the ClutchFit Drive II. I'll elaborate more on that in the materials and support section. To be completely honest with you guys, I never once really noticed the cushion in the ClutchFit Drive II in a good way. After extensive use, not once did my back, legs, or knees feel aching due to the lack of cushion. But again, I do have some concerns that it doesn't really fit with the overall theme. But as an isolated feature, the cushion setup is an honorable one. Moving right along to the materials, last year Under Armour introduced ClutchFit full length on the entire upper, but this year we're only getting it as an underlay. Upon first impressions, this looked like a huge disappointment and a big step back for Under Armour. But after I wear tested these, I found out that that was only an aesthetic problem. Sure, the ClutchFit Drive II doesn't look as sexy as a ClutchFit Drive I, but it performs just as nicely. The fused overlay Under Armour use is very flexible and very pliable, and gets even more so after every use. The ClutchFit underlay runs from about the forefoot all the way to the ankle collar area, while the forefoot just uses a mesh underlay that's still flexible, but not as conforming to your foot as ClutchFit would have been. This isn't a big problem, but it would have been nice to have a more consistent ride throughout the entire sneaker. As for ventilation, they are a little bit on the hot side, but only after an hour or hour and a half of use. Again, it's not really a big problem, but what Under Armour really tried to do was add this fused overlay for more support, and it really does do that, as well as make it more durable for things like outdoor balling. With the exception of my toe area, because I do toe drag a lot, my upper looks virtually new. This is a very good thing, and you're gonna get a lot of bang for your buck thanks to its durability. Never once did the materials rub, pinch, or stab me in the wrong way, and they allowed me to move freely without any restrictions. But I still think Under Armour could have flipped the script and used an entire ClutchFit upper with targeted fused overlays for added support. But hey, that's just me. Alright, so next up we're gonna talk about the fit, and I actually use an ankle brace on my right ankle, which also happens to be my bigger foot. That's right, I just admitted that my right foot is half a size bigger than my left foot on the internet. Also, I had to go half a size down due to local availability from a 10.5 to a 10. With that being said, the ClutchFit Drive II still accommodated my ankle braces even with my concerns of going half a size down. I was really surprised and shocked by this. If you like a snug fit where your toes and the front of the shoe has very little space, I recommend going half a size down. I know some people like to do that. Me personally, I like to have a little bit of leeway in between that area just in case. But again, this is a personal preference, and if you do want a very snug fit, go half a size down. Again, like I said in the material section earlier, the forefoot does not feature a ClutchFit underlay, instead opting to go with a flexible mesh, which is good, but it's not as conforming as ClutchFit would have been. This doesn't cause any real problems in the forefoot, it's just not as consistent as the other areas in the foot. The midfoot and the ankle collar area will really conform to any foot shape or size that you may be without getting in the way and distracting you and letting you focus at the task at hand. Overall, the fit on the Under Armour ClutchFit Drive II is very tight, with the exception of the forefoot area. It's still tight, but could have been a little bit tighter. But again, I'm going to say that Under Armour probably could have gone with an entire ClutchFit upper with targeted fuse overlays for added support, and the fit would have been much nicer. But again, beggars can't be choosers, and that's just me. Next up, we're going to talk about an area where I feel like Under Armour really stressed on with the ClutchFit Drive II, and that is support. Naturally, this fuse overlay that Under Armour went with instead of a full-length ClutchFit upper is going to add more support. Also, they beefed up the heel cup from last year's model to give you more lateral stability, so your foot isn't shifting left and right and just staying on the footbed, getting the most out of that charge cushion setup. All of these added support features on the ClutchFit Drive II cater towards a wide array of positions with a slight advantage towards forwards or centers. Even though I'm a guard, I never felt like the ClutchFit Drive II got in the way of what I wanted to do and never felt like it was weighing me down. But if you're looking for a sneaker that's very light on your feet and like nothing is there, you may want to look elsewhere. All right, you guys, let's sum things up. When you look at Under Armour's entire basketball lineup last year, there weren't too many options for quote-unquote big men. And with their signature athlete Stephen Curry being a guard, if you're looking for an Under Armour basketball sneaker and you're a guard, you're probably just gonna end up going with the Curry one regardless of the other options. The fuse overlay, beefed up heel cup, really give you more added support that make me think that this could be a big man shoe for Under Armour. In my opinion, Under Armour should have stuck with full-length Micro G to give a more plush ride that provides more impact protection, which definitely caters towards more big men, and that would have paired well with the added support features on the ClutchFit Drive II. But at the end of the day, the overall package of the ClutchFit Drive II caters towards positions 1 through 5. So big men, here is your Under Armour sneaker you've been waiting for. Just don't say I didn't say you wish for a softer ride. All right, guys, that pretty much takes care of the performance review for the Under Armour ClutchFit Drive II. If I left anything out or you still have any questions, just go ahead and leave a comment in the section below. I'll be more than happy to answer for you. Go check out my full written review of this model at weartesters.com. That link will also be in the description box below, as well as purchase links for this particular model. It was nice having you guys. My name is Geronmon. I'll see you in the next one. Double peace. Oh, here's the theme song that I used in that video. If you haven't seen it, go check it out.